Hey guys, welcome to Mail Monday, a weekly series that's not so much about the gameplay, but instead I take a look at your letters to me and give my replies. Let's get this thing kicked off. Dear Woody, so this year I've grown very fond of these two girls and they're both dateable. Here's the problem, I don't know which to choose. They're both cute, but the two have their own perks. One of the two is less attractive than the other. I foresee that dating the less attractive one would lead to a longer lasting relationship. But dating the more attractive one has its obvious perks. I'm wondering if it makes sense to date the less attractive one for a more meaningful relationship, or be known as the cool guy with a hot girlfriend. Any response would be much appreciated. Yeah, it's funny. I had those same sort of thoughts and questions in my own head, right? And when I was in high school, I dated a pretty hot girl, actually. She was one of the hottest girls in my high school. But in the end, it really wasn't that great a relationship. And like, here's what I think. I think that, you have to pick a girl who's attractive to you, right? She needs to be attractive enough. If she doesn't, I guess, excite you, I'm looking for a better term than that. But, if she's not working for you, then that's not going to get it done. However, in a situation like this, I think I'd totally pick the one that's cooler than compared to the one that's hotter, right? And it's just that if you're going to be spending time with this girl, if you're going to be talking to the phone on her, you're going to be doing whatever, and you have to make sure that the time you're spending with her is time you want to spend with her. Like any kind of love, assuming that's the goal, right? If you're trying to love a person, then this person needs to be amazing, and she needs to be clever. She needs to excite your head and not just your little head. And yeah, so which one do you pick in this situation? Like for me, I'd take the less attractive girl all day long, because it's not so much about having a trophy on your shelf that you're like, yeah, Melissa, she's cool, I guess. Do you guys want to do something else? Or like it, that just sucks. You don't want that. You want the girl who is not only your girlfriend, but your friend. And it sounds to me like girl number one is the cool one there. And I think you'll find the same thing over time. That what really makes a relationship tick is not the hotness factor, but the rest of the package. I want to start by saying thanks for all the great advice. You've helped me rethink the way I look at things. There's a problem I'm sure you can give me some help on. I've recently started producing music on my own. And recently, I've started releasing some. I've come into a lot of haters, and damn, they can be mean. I'm trying not to let this get to me, but it really bothers me. I have a lot of personal acceptance issues and all that. I really want to and will continue to produce music, but what is your advice on the best way to deal with these people? I refuse to respond to them, but how can I learn to let the negativity just not affect me? Any response would be more than amazing, even if you decide not to feature this. Ah, haters. These guys are funny. So here's the thing. Here's what I'd want you to remember to keep in mind. There's kind of a hierarchy on the creativity scale, right? I mean, at the top are guys like you. You are the creator. You are the guy that makes things happen. You are the entertainer. You are, a doer. And it's not just in music or, I don't know. Want to sound like I'm talking about me, gaming commentary, but it's in politics, it's in sports, it's in everything, right? There are people who go out and do things, and those guys are at the top of the totem pole. Those guys are the ones who make the world go round. Those are the leadership positions of planet Earth, right? That's where you are. And then the haters, the guys who sit in the audience and throw the rotten tomatoes, the guys who make their little parody things and knockoffs and sit there and complain about other people, they're losers. They've got nothing to offer. And if you were to step into their shoes and understand their depressing little life and their suicidal tendencies, if you were to hop into their shoes and see just how sadly things are going for them, it'd be easy to see the path. The path is you keep being you. You keep not letting the haters get you down, and go ahead and live your life in the way that is most successful for you. And just be happy in the knowledge that these guys are, fussing at you because they don't have anything going on their own. That's what their deal is. These guys who are hating all the time, picture this image, this fairly accurate image of, the chubby guy sitting behind his computer screen, wishing that he was actually you. That's that's who these haters are. So yeah, how do you not let it get to you? Well, shucks. To me, there was no magic formula. I started off being really sensitive towards this stuff. I remember, allow me to tell a story. There was one time when me and my friends played the guys that worked at Machinima. It was like Hutch, Hollywood, Sark was there, a couple other guys, and we played, like, we were kind of all getting into game battles and stuff. Hutch had some experience with it before, and me and my friends were just playing it for the first time. And we decided to go up against each other. Well, what happened was Wings of Redemption uploaded a game to his channel. And in an effort to... Oh, by the way, we played the Machinima guys like 12 times, and we got like 10 wins and 2 ties. So Wings of Redemption, in an effort not to make the Machinima guys look bad, and now it's ancient history, right? It doesn't even matter. But in an effort not to make the Machinima guys look like bad players, he uploaded one of the draws, which was one of my worst personal games, right? There was like a search and destroy game where I was team hero, but there was this capture the flag game where I was the flag runner, and my KD was dreadful, and like I didn't have stopping power on because I think I had lightweight or something, however Modern Warfare 2 worked, and I just lost a lot of gunfights. And there were hundreds of people out there talking about my aim. There were 1,000 people talking about how much I sucked at the game. And it really, really hurt. Like, it hurt a lot. I remember, like, all day long, I could hardly think about anything else. It had struck me to my core. And I remember I talked to my wife about it and sort of, went to her for solace and support. And we ended up like taking a walk around a lake on a, bright sunny day. And it helped me get readjusted, with dealing with like all this hate. And you might think to yourself like, oh, that's ridiculous, I'd be solid, because that's what I thought. That you've probably never woken up one morning to having hundreds or thousands of people just hate you, and it's like, wow, what did I do, and why are things going so terribly, and this is that, and that, when you break it down, was people saying my aim was bad. Right now, I've gotten so thick-skinned. Right, I've been at this game long enough that that people talk about like digitally raping both my kids at the same time anally, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I find you to your hating to lack creativity, and just carry on with my thing. So yeah, keep in mind, these haters are losers. They don't have much to offer, and what they can do instead of like actually being creative and producing something on their own is just fuss at other people. That's the way that they roll. So yeah, how do you deal with them? Shucks. Keep living the good life, and you'll be all right. And also it helps me keep in mind who they actually are. Keep in mind it's generally not adults hating; it's little kids who don't have very much to offer on their own. So that's my tip. Over the past 2 years or so, I've had a lot of sex, but with one girl. Yeah, me too. I've had erection issues with her, but I got over it after a week or two. I got aroused very easily and was turned on easily as well. It wasn't really a big deal to get an erection because I knew I could please her. However, over the week after our breakup, I hooked up with this girl that I used to have a non-sexual thing with. She had a boyfriend, and I felt guilty about it, and he couldn't perform. I'm paraphrasing here. Fast forward 6 months, I have a new girlfriend, and she's great. About 30 minutes ago, we attempted to have sex for the first time. I had a full erection, but when business was about to initiate, I thought, why can't I keep it up? Or what if I can't keep it up? And I panicked, and therefore deflated like a balloon. I really, really care about this girl, but I can't tell if she's mad at me or not. I don't want her to think she's not attractive because she really is great looking and sexy. I don't know how to rid myself of this complex, as it can dampen the relationship. Please help me, Woody. You're my only hope. This is maybe the first time in my life I've been the only hope at helping some guy keep his erection. But, I saw this and it struck me as not a big deal, especially, in the context of a relationship, which is where you are now. I'm sure that this girl, cares for you in more than just the sexual way, and I'm sure that one bad roll in the hay is not going to be a deal breaker for her. Instead, it's a little bump in the road, and it's no big deal. How would you feel if she told you she had a headache one night? I don't think you'd be like, it's over. This whole thing is settled and done, and I no longer have any use for you. Instead, I think you'd say, yeah, that happens, whatever, bodies are bodies, we can chill about this whole thing. So that's how I expect this to play out for you in this situation. How to get over your stage fright? I don't know. I'm trying to think, my own history here. there's what am I trying to say? When I was younger, I had trouble, manipulating it into every way that I wanted it to be. I usually went on the other direction where, I'd get too aroused when I didn't want to. And, as time passes and you get more experience with these things, all of a sudden you become like a cowboy with his trick rope, it performs as you demand it to. You figure out how to work this thing. And I think the same thing is gonna happen with you. You'll know that you're capable of performing and doing what you want to do, and you'll be all set. So I guess give it some time, and I wouldn't worry about like the relationship and the expectation side of it at all, because my prediction is that she's going to be cool with this whole thing, and that it's not crushing her. It's just an off night. It's all good. This is a question I'm sure more than one person with a YouTube channel thinks about. It's the idea of, is going pro a good goal for a job, or should we take the path of a normal job and do YouTube as a side job? I don't know about other people, but my parents still don't know why someone would want to watch me play and talk about video games. Any advice would be great. This question is not just YouTube commentators, right? It's anybody who's trying to live the dream. Musicians, pro athletes, artists, and it's do you follow your dream, or do you go for a more secure kind of slam dunk career path like civil engineer, designing bridges? And to me, the answer is, if you're looking to live the dream, if you're looking to do something that everybody else just wishes they could do, I'll say rock star, then part of your burden is going to be that you've got to work two jobs, right? These dreams aren't easy, and you can't do it just by coasting in. You have to have that backup plan, and that backup plan, like for me, I had computer science and stuff like that for ages, but pretending I was a young guy who wanted to be a musician, I think you need to do musician stuff in your spare time. Highest KD and most dom points. Yeah, baby. I think you need to be that like musician in your spare time, or in your case, YouTube commentator. And you need to devote like the rest of your efforts, the rest of your energy into making sure that, the more guaranteed life stuff is solid and going to be in check. That you can't just, throw away the stuff that's almost assured to give you a good life in hopes of being this 1% who's the next Ray William Johnson. So that's my advice, and it's kind of cliched, right? Like, have a backup plan, but really, that's how I did it. I sat there and worked YouTube harder than most while having a full-time job, and looking back, I'm pretty happy with the way that I went about it. That's the way I'd do it again. All right. I always feel good when I'm on kind of a video hot streak, and that's where I am right now. These are two of the highest rated videos I've made in months. So the top one is a dual com with my wife, and we talk about what's new. Someone asked for an update on how going pro has been for me, so I brought in my wife, and we kind of talked about it together, and good video. Colin even makes a guest appearance. And the bottom one is what I do is I sort of dissect a shotgun shell, and I talk about what shotguns are like in real life and compare them to video games and stuff like that. And it's also been a really highly received and somewhat controversial video. CNN picked it up. So anyway, hope you guys like one of those. If you're new around here and you enjoy this stuff, click subscribe in the top right. Surprise video on the side. Links in the description to t-shirts, Facebook, Twitter. Have a nice day.